What's up, everyone? StealthyWolf here. Welcome back to another kind of, I guess, podcasty kind of thing. I don't know if you want to really call it that kind of thing. But today we're talking about the games coming out in 2020, this year, in light of Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed until later this year. I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through maybe some of the noteworthy games that are coming out this year, and maybe talk about them slightly, just sort of get a consensus from kind of people. I'm gonna talk about them. I may not actually know that much, so hopefully hopefully I'm not looking like a total idiot. Oh. Sorry, I've just seen something. Something on the 23rd, which is Thursday, is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD 4. I believe that's the Switch I'm looking at here. Let me find the Switch. Yeah, it's coming out on Switch, apparently. So, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath was part of the Oddworld series, Abe's Odyssey, Munch's Odyssey as well. It was originally on the original Xbox, and apparently it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Apparently it was on the Ouya as well, and it was on mobile. I don't know. I can't give you an accurate representation of if the game's going to be good or not. But apparently some people thought the original was quite good. Obviously the kind of the Oddworld series of games, not particularly ones that I've been interested in, kind of thing, gonna be honest. But yeah, it's coming out for Switch, and that's I'm not sure if it's backwards compatible on the 360. I believe it would be, because it's quite a big game. It was quite an important game, in a way. So I guess, that kind of thing. Any other noteworthy things that have come out in January? This is January. Not really. I can't... There's a couple of games that I've seen sort of about. But, apparently last week on the 16th, Yakuza Like a Dragon. So that might be part of the Yakuza games. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, it looks like to be another Yakuza style game. If you like the Yakuza games, apparently the Yakuza games are really good. So that one probably is really good, and it's already out. It's only on PS4 right now that I can see. Yeah, and then there's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot as well, which I saw at EGX last year. I saw that, and it's another Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Do with that with what you will. Yeah, the only other one that I can see in January is on the 28th, so that'd be next Tuesday, I believe. I think it's next Tuesday. I should also have a calendar up so I know what I'm talking about. Oh, this. If you're watching this way in the future, this was streamed live on the 20th of January 2020. Just to give you that. Yeah, so next Tuesday, the 28th, is something that I've seen been somewhat promoted, is a Journey to the Savage Planet, which is on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. There's so many space games kind of coming out, or that kind of thing, in kind of that kind of style, that I just get confused and I don't know which one this one is. Done by 505 Games, and apparently does not have... I'm sorry, published by 505? Is that Yeah, published by 505 Games. There's actually not a Wikipedia page for it. That's really weird. Apparently they published Sniper Elite 3, Payday 2, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and the PC release of Death Stranding. But there's no like page for Journey to the Savage Planet on Wikipedia, which is weird. I know I could probably go Google it, but I'm going by Wikipedia. So actually wait, when was it April that Cyberpunk was meant to come out? Or was there It's not even on here. Is it really not even on here? Apparently it's not even in Cyberpunk is with a C, right? Like, it's not an S. It's not stupid, is it? Apparently it's completely gone from Wikipedia. That's why you don't... Oh, wait, no, there it is. There it is. It actually has a release date. I thought it didn't have a release date. I thought they just said September. But, no, September 17th. What... Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I can just go through the ones. There was AO Tennis 2 for the for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Oh no. Okay, whatever you do, don't buy AO Tennis 2. It's published by Big Ben Interactive. They're the people who made Flat Out 4 Total Insanity, which is the worst Flat Out game, barring Flat Out 3. Flat Out 3 and Flat Out 4 are just the worst games in existence. There was, I assume this is DLC, Monster Hunter World Iceborne for PC, Atelier Dusk Trilogy Deluxe Pack for PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS4, Puzzle Dragons Gold for Nintendo Switch, Tokyo Mirage Sessions hashtag FE Encore for Nintendo Switch, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners for PC, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, that's a point and click, for Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox One, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire for PS4 and Xbox One, Warcraft 3 Reforged for PC and Mac, Hypercharge Unboxed for PC and Nintendo Switch. If any of those games interest you, put in the comments and tell me why. I don't know. So February's got quite a lot of quite a few noteworthy kind of releases, or sort of like recognizable names, I guess. And first of all, on the 4th of February, we have Zombie Army 4 Dead War for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's weird because the Zombie Army games came from Sniper Elite, mainly Sniper Elite V2, and I thought they called it Sniper Elite 3 because... Well, no, not Sniper Elite 3. Zombie Army Trilogy, because it was maybe bonus modes onto Sniper Elite. But apparently it's like its entire new thing and is actually, you know, like, huge. So if you're a fan of the Zombie Army games, there's a new one coming out. I saw it at EGX. There was like a terrifying statue kind of thing, sculpture, I don't know what to call it, that was there as well that you could take pictures with. There's Yakuza 5 coming out for the PS4 on the 11th of February, and now a big one, Dreams. This is, I believe, from the same people who made Little Big Planet, and it's really weird because I've seen so much promotion about it, and to be honest, I've been like, I don't care. But it's like you make your own games in the game, but it's I can't even explain it. I saw it at EGX Res last year, and I saw it and I was thinking, oh, you know, I think it was like the PlayStation section. It had like Dreams and like taking up half the fucking room, and then the other half was like, hey, PlayStation Now, is it? The subscription service where you like Game Pass. Um, so it was that kind of thing, or that kind of rum. Um, yeah, and I, I, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just it says it's a game creation system, and it's like, yeah. The only thing I can say is that it's sort of similar to Little Big Planet, but instead of making sort of side scroller levels or whatever you could in Little Big Planet. I know Little Big Planet 2 and 3 you could go quite like huge different games entirely. So this is one where it would be like uh, I do hope that there are, well, obviously for people who are buying this, I do hope that there are like games already in that you can play without having to make your own, because it's going to be a very sort of like hit and miss kind of thing. Like it will like if the development team behind it is very sort of passionate about it, it will definitely be supported as much as possible, and bugs and everything. Because there'll definitely be those people that will want to play Dreams, and I've seen so much about it. I want to see it. I don't think I'll be buying it myself personally. And that's on the 14th of February, so that is Friday. So you can get Friday to go chill with that. On that same day, you have Darksiders Genesis for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. You know what Darksiders is. It's the hack and slash RPG kind of thing. I think I can't remember when, but I think Darksiders 2 was on PlayStation Plus for free. I downloaded that because I wanted to play it at some point. But there's another one. And then also Street Fighter 5. Yay, we've got another edition for Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition for the PC and PS4. Do you really need me to explain what Street Fighter is? Basically, what happens is Capcom releases a Street Fighter game, and then they just keep releasing edition on edition on edition on edition on edition to try and get another 50 quid out of you every single game. On the 18th, this one, I haven't seen much about it, but I guess I wouldn't because it's kind of like it's a bundle kind of thing. And a few of these are kind of additions onto certain things for this month. Is the Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th anniversary bundle. So I assume it's been 10 years since Bayonetta and Vanquish. Yeah, Vanquish was like a sci-fi shooter thing. We had like you had your own what is it? Kind of suit of armor kind of thing. I'm saying like suit of armor, like you know what I mean. It looked like the guy on the front cover looked like fucking Dead Space. Yeah, Bayonetta 10 years. God, for old. So I assume that's going to be like a bit of a cheaper bundle kind of thing, and it's probably going to have all the DLC. I don't think it will be Bayonetta. I think it'll just be Bayonetta 1, because Bayonetta 2 only released on the Wii U. But I could be wrong. It may have released later on other stuff. There's also something on that day called Hunt Showdown, and I have no idea what it is, so let's have a look. It's a first-person shooter, survival horror, by Crytek. Ooh. Done by the development team known for Darksiders. It's a fucking Nordic Games one, of course it is. Huh. Apparently it's been going for years as well. It's been in development for years. Oh wait, it's already been out. Wait, what? Okay, so it's just coming out for PS4 on February 18th, 2020. But it's already out for Xbox One and Windows. On the 20th, there's Persona 5 Scramble. which they say it's a hack and slash role playing game, but I'm not sure if that's how you define Persona anyway, like hack and slash. Uh, oh no, it is. It's a mix of Dynasty Warriors and Persona. Oh god, that's weird. It's set 6 months after the events of Persona 5, and it's a hack and slash kind of thing. Okay, so that'd be probably a way for people to get into the Persona games. You know, rather than buying the shitty PlayStation Classic and playing the first Persona. Um, yeah, you can get that if you like Dynasty, whatever, Warriors. There's also, I'm not sure if this is a pure remake or something. Oh god. Oh god, there's so many different release dates for this thing. There was a HD collection for Devil May Cry 3, which came out came out in 2012 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and then was then released on PC, PS4, and Xbox One in 2018. But apparently there's a special edition being released for the Nintendo Switch on the 20th of February as well. I was never into the Devil May Cry games. It's a similar sort of. I don't want to completely paint them with the same brush, but a lot of Japanese games have that kind of ranking in their games, which I'm not a fan of, because it like you know, in like some games where it's like, oh, you have to get a certain ranking to get like certain things or certain achievements, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like Devil May Cry is a series that was spawned from the first iteration of RE4, so but I don't really, not my kind of style, unfortunately. But yeah, a special edition for Nintendo Switch, so if you are looking for more Switch games, this year apparently is going to be, you're going to get a ton of stuff. There's a Mega Man 0/ZX Legacy Collection. I think they do a Mega Man collection already. No. Huh. Again, the Wikipedia page is not being that useful. Yeah, it's just Mega Man 0 collection with ZX. Sorry, Mega Man 0X? I don't know. And also, on that same day, the 25th of February, 2 Point Hospital comes out for consoles, which is a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, I believe, with kind of the sort of dark but slapstick kind of humour. That wasn't one game that I played, but if there's a demo for it on PlayStation, then I'd be quite interesting to try it. Sort of try a little demo, see what it's like. Like I think more games should be releasing demos rather than, you know, because like how many times have you gone, man, I really want to try this game before I buy it, and there's not been a demo of it? How many times? There's so many times that you can't do that anymore. No one does it anymore. It's kind of sad. And again, like as I was just saying, for the Nintendo Switch, if you got a Switch and you know, don't have a PC, PS4, or Xbox One, you can get Metro Redux. I believe that's Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light is the Metro Redux. So you can get some more first-person shooters on your Switch, which is pretty good considering, you know, there was Doom on it, there's Skyrim on it. Bit expensive, but you know, you can get those games on the Switch now. And I think that's pretty cool, having the Switch be able to have sort of more mature games rather than it be kind of, that console, like, oh, you want a family friendly console? Here you go. Right, because, the PlayStation and the Xbox can be family friendly. Well, not obviously not as family friendly, but like kind of they do have those kinds of games. And now let's go through all the games that are just coming out in February. On the 4th, alongside Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Zombie Army 4 Dead War. It just sounded like I didn't. Apparently, a Netflix published game. Oh. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics for PC, Mac, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, so for everything. On the 6th of February, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus for PS4. On the 14th, alongside Dreams and Darksiders Genesis, there's Snack World The Dungeon Crawl Gold for Nintendo Switch. I already mentioned Hunt Showdown. Alongside Devil May Cry 3 and Persona 5 Scramble, there's Under the Night In Birth EXE : late CL-R. What the fuck is that kind of name? Under Night in Birth EXE late. It might be like a special edition. There might be a special edition. Might be a Western edition. I don't know. That's for the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. There's a One Punch Man game coming out apparently for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14 for PC and PS4. Really, the 14th one? 14th installment, yeah. Alright, let's go into March. March has a lot of big, more kind of like big kind of games that people have been looking forward to as well. So, I think this was announced. Was it last week or was it the week? I think it might have been last week. On the 6th of March, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX for the Nintendo Switch. So another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. I never played those. They were kind of more like... I was about to say more RPG, but Pokemon is literally the definition of RPG. Kind of thing. But yeah, that's another Pokemon game. That's all good. Yeah, it's if you've played the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on the DS, I assume you've been looking forward to another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, rather than sort of like a new or spin-off or kind of weird Pokemon game. You actually get like a spin-off game that you actually want. Ori and the Will of the Wisps for PC and Xbox One. Is that not for... Oh, because the Xbox Game Studios. I thought that yeah, because Ori and the Blind Forest, wasn't that? I thought that was on PlayStation, but apparently not. Yeah, so it's the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. Well, it reminds me, like when I look at it, it reminds me of a game. I don't know if anyone else played it, but it was on Xbox Gold Games 1 month back on like 360, back in 360 days, and it was called Dust: An Elysian Tale. And it, like, looking at the box art for, or sort of like all the art and stuff for the Ori games, and then looking at the Dust game, it looks like similar to that kind of thing. I don't think it's made by the same people, but it looks sort of very similar. It's that kind of like fantasy kind of like creature kind of thing, rather than actual people and stuff like that. More fantasy kind of looking. I don't know if anyone cares about Neo 2. I assume there's some people that care about Neo 2, but I can't remember Neo 1. Like Nioh. There's a samurai. Oh, it's a Team Ninja game. Oh, great. That's a prequel. Wait, what? It's a successor and prequel. What? That's like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not a sequel. You can't call it a number if it's not. Just, sorry. Let's get into more of the other ones, because there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that a lot of people like excited for or know a lot about. On March 20th, oh boy, are you gonna have your work cut out for you if you want to play any of these 3 games that are coming out on the same day, which is a Friday. So you got all weekend. You could play one of them on Friday, one of them on Saturday, one of them on Sunday. So we've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, a new Animal Crossing game for the Switch. I never played Animal Crossing because I was always you know the thing where it's like it goes by in real life as well, like it tells how many, it can like tell what time it is where you are, sort of based on your Nintendo Switch, on your DS clock or your like console clock, and it can tell sort of like the day as well, so you get like special events and stuff. I was always like worried about that there'd be like one day that I never did it, because I had Tamagotchis when I was younger. And if I like forgot a day, I'd be like, oh god, oh god, oh god, it's dead, kind of thing. I played Animal Crossing Pocket Camp on the phone, but after a while, it did get to be a point where I was like, it's kind of tedious. But I know people who love Animal Crossing, so they really want the new one and will love the new one. So all the power to you. But on the same day, Doom 64 comes out, sort of alongside, I believe, Doom 1, 2, and 3 that came out last year. Doom 64 for the PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, which is the Nintendo 64 Doom, if you couldn't tell. I believe it's still got the same style. Yeah, it's still got the same style as original Doom 1 and 2, which is pretty good. But guess what also comes out that day? Not for Nintendo Switch, but PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Google Stadia, is Doom Eternal. Yes, you've got to fight for 2 different Doom games, a new one or an old one. A new one, or essentially one that's 20 plus years old. But yeah, Doom Eternal, I still haven't played through Doom 2016. I pre-ordered Doom 2016. I played it a bit. I have not completed it. There's too many other games. I got too caught up in other games. Give me a break. But yeah, Doom Eternal looks pretty cool. It's even more of a fact that Doom Guy is Link. He's now got a hook shot. Sorry. But yeah, Doom Eternal. I believe Doom 2016 was kind of the sort of a reboot on the original Doom story, where it's on Mars, and then Doom Eternal is the sort of reboot of the second one, where it's hell is on Earth. Like, you go on Mars, you go through a portal into hell in the first one, and then you come back out onto Earth, and then, oh look, everything is hell on Earth. And then the 2 others, one that has a release date, one that doesn't, unfortunately. But on the 31st of March, Persona 5 Royal, which, is it the... I'm not sure if it's the... if there's like additions to it, or if it's like completely... Are you gonna tell me? Oh, Royal... Wikipedia saying Persona 5 Royal. This article's plot summary may be too long or excessively detailed. I don't think. I can't tell if it's like a sequel, or it's like a sequel immediately after the game. Someone who knows Persona 5 will be able to tell me. But it does kind of seem like that, looking at the sort of little plot thing. but also for VR on the PC. That's right, Half-Life Alyx, which someone in fucking chat when I was doing fucking Killing Floor 2 thing fucking was like, oh, I'm so hyped about it, and then fucking I was like, I don't really care that much for Half-Life, and then said fuck you to me, and I'm like, yeah, prick. So as I said back then, and as I will continue to do to piss people off, apparently, I never played Half-Life, and it never kind of interested me. The headcrabs definitely deterred me from Half-Life, but yeah, a VR Half-Life game where I believe you play as Alex. I don't know her name. I don't know her last name. So it could be quite interesting. I'm not sure if it's set. Is it set before original Half-Life, or is it the premise? It takes place before Half-Life 2 and after Half-Life 1. Well, I assume after Half-Life 1. So yeah, so if you're into Half-Life, obviously that's a interesting prospect. You obviously want to get involved with. Sorry. Yeah. But I mean, now there's going to be a lot. Obviously, at the end of this, we're going to go through all the ones that have either unknown release dates or sort of very vague release dates as well, because there is a lot of them. And as well, at the end, we've got a little cool thing just to end this off, and end this little kind of little video off. Where are we? We're in April. April the 3rd. Resident Evil 3 remake. Yes. A lot of people, when Resident Evil 2 remake was announced and kind of came out and everything, people were wondering, what about Resident Evil 3 though? Yo, what about Resident Evil 3? Huh? You can do Resident Evil 3. Do it. And they are. My sort of looking back on it, I kind of feel like I assume a lot of people, like some other people probably picked up on it. I didn't until I played the RPD demo. If you go to the bit.ly link down there at the bottom of the video, you'll go to my channel, and then go there and you can see the RPD demo, because I played through it. I also played through the one-shot demo as well. Shh. In that demo, in Resident Evil 2, because there's obviously the combining of gunpowder. And only when I played through the RPD demo did I realise, wait a minute, the combining of gunpowder is in Resident Evil 3. So it's like, you go, that was a hint that they were probably going to do Resident Evil 3 remake, because they already had the combining of gunpowder idea, which is the primary thing in in Resident Evil 3. So it's going to be insane. There's also going to be probably a lot of mods. A lot of mods that are going to be making the Nemesis what? It's going to make the Nemesis Thomas the Tank Engine in a Speedo. Probably making Mr. X. Probably make Mr. X Nemesis. There's probably going to be a lot of mods like that. But that's going to be really really cool. I want to see if there's a demo. I hope there's a demo first. But I also want to see what it's like before I buy it. Just sort of because I want to know how the Nemesis acts. Because I might be a bit shit at Resident Evil 3 if the Nemesis is going to be on you constantly, and you're going to have to, you kill him, but then he gets back up minutes later. That's gonna. I don't know how hard they're gonna make the game, but yeah, Resident Evil 3, and then it was also some of the big holes in the RPD station in Resident Evil 2 remake. Some people were like, like literally when the demo came out, and people were taking showing screenshots and gameplay of the thing. Some people were going like, oh look, this hole looks big enough, it looks too big to be a person, looks too big to be Mr. X. Could it be Nemesis? And I don't know if they'll update, because they did an update for Resident Evil 2 where there is a um, a letter from Jill in, I believe, Kendo's gun shop. If you go in there, there's a letter on one of the tables from Jill. So I'm not sure if they'll update Resident Evil 2 again when Resident Evil 3 releases to talk about, or to sort of include bigger holes or sort of nemesis shaped holes to be like, he smashes through this wall. So maybe if you play Resident Evil 2 and then you go into play Resident Evil 3, you can be like, oh, I know he's going to smash through this wall because this wall is still up, you know what I mean? Or if you go back into the RPD sort of near the end of Resident Evil 3, if you can, sort of at the end of Resident Evil 3 Remake, it will be like, oh, here's like a huge wall, huge hole through a wall where Mr. X went through. So, you know, and then Jill can go through it, or Carlos can go through it. I'm gonna stop talking about Resident Evil 3. It's the only game I'm excited for this year, and like, I'll get on to why when we get to some of the other sort of bigger games that people are really excited for. Actually, maybe two. There's two, but the other one, the second one, I have to play the one before it. Then obviously April again, the 10th, is Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS4. Again, I'm not into that Final Fantasy kind of thing. There's so many Final Fantasies, and making the remake, it does look really nice. It does look cool, and I assume it's going to be based sort of like on the Final Fantasy 15 kind of engine and how they did the combat, probably. Apparently Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto for the Switch coming out. Interesting. A Predator Hunting Grounds game for the PC and PS4. Trials of Mana for the PC, Switch, and PS4. Gears Tactics, yay, because we love some turn-based strategy for our Gears of War game. For PC and Xbox One, and a to-be-announced date in April for Minecraft Dungeons, which is a dungeon crawler. So it's from what I can see, it kind of seems like it's a bit like dungeon crawler kind of thing, like Binding of Isaac. So it could be, but Minecraft style. Could be interesting. Could be interesting to see. And that's actually coming out, despite it being published by Xbox Game Studios, it's coming out for pretty much everything. PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Going to be interesting. In May. April, May. Apparently nothing coming out in June, or nothing scheduled to be in June. Nothing... Yeah, and then the only other things we've got, like a December... What? Why have we already got a December game announced? We've got some September stuff. And in May, we got Iron Man VR for PS4. Wasteland 3. I can't say much about that. PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Maneater. Published by Tripwire Interactive, my boys. Tripwire Interactive make Killing Floor 2. Sword Art Online. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. For PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And The Last of Us Part 2. Now, here's the reason why I'm not into sort of, or I'm not like looking at like, you know, Last of Us or Cyberpunk or I'm trying to sort of like older games like Death Stranding. And I guess Doom Eternal in a way. And I'm trying to find more games. Psychonauts 2 possibly. Like those kinds of things. Why I won't be buying them straight away, even if I did want to play them. they're single player games. So if you're really excited for a single player game, you can buy it straight away. But obviously, for me, if I'm not interested in the game, until later on, it will be a lot cheaper later on. Because I've still got a ton of games. Like my reasoning is I've got a ton of games to go through, so I'm not gonna buy a brand new game, and because then I won't get round to playing it if I'm still playing older games, or if I'm basically just putting off a ton of old games because I'm playing the new game, which is sort of a problem with me. I just have that kind of problem when I play games. I don't have enough time to play games. Um, yeah, so it's that kind of thing. It's like, even if I was really excited for Cyberpunk, I think I'd like avoid spoilers and then go into it at some point when it was on sale. Again, that's my kind of like philosophy. If you really excited for a game, really hyped for it, then 100%, buy it when it comes out, play it so you don't get spoiled or anything. But for me, I avoided Far Cry 5 spoilers for a good few months before I got round to actually like beating it because I was 100%ing the game. I'm the only thing that I got sort of somewhat spoiled was that people were saying it's a bad ending. But I mean, to be honest, has Far Cry ever had a good sort of ending to a game? No, it's all about everything in the game. The beginning is a bit naff, the ending's a bit naff, but everything else is amazing in Far Cry games. With a few flaws, but you have a perfect game, that's going to be terrible. People are going to forget about it. Anyway, but that's the kind of thing. That's why I didn't play The Last of Us 1, Part 1, I guess. Because I just wasn't that kind of interested in it. And Last of Us Part 2, again, I don't think I'll be more interested in it. I don't think... unless I was streaming... Yeah, unless people were, like, coming to me and sort of, like, coming to my streams, coming to my videos and sort of, like, expecting me to play, like, new games and give them, like, a good opinion or, like, an opinion on the games, then maybe I would, but at that point, no, I'm not getting paid enough to do that. Unfortunately. There are 3 to be announced in May games. We've got Seconia When They Cry Phase 2. We don't even know what console that's coming out on, or what platform that's coming out on. It's a visual novel kind of thing. Fast and Furious Crossroads for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. And New World for PC. I want to see what this Fast and Furious Crossroads is. That's not helpful. It sent me to Fast and Furious 9. So it might be a game that goes alongside of the film, because they're coming around sort of at the same time. Because it's May 22nd, 2020 in the United States for Fast and Furious 9, whereas the game is being released in May as well. So possibly. And then we've got September, where we've got Iron Harvest, which seems familiar. I don't know why that title seems familiar in terms of a game, but it's coming out for Windows, PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Then we have Marvel's Avengers, which don't have the Disney Marvel look to them. They look kind of a bit more generic. For PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Google Stadia. It did look quite interesting. They had quite a huge booth or quite a huge section at EGX for it. And I was like, that's quite interesting kind of thing. It does look kind of cool, but like I said earlier, if you're excited for it, go out and buy it immediately. I can't tell you to do that, but if you're excited for it, all power to you. But if you're only marginally excited for it, or sort of marginally sort of hyped for it, I'd say wait, because it doesn't seem to have much. It's only for I guess, sort of die-hard Marvel fans. And the 17th of September, Cyberpunk 2077 for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Google Stadia. Why am I not excited for this one as what other people are? First of all, this game. Let's see if it's got an actual thing. I wonder if they do have the actual announcement date. No, they don't. I don't think they do. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. Cyberpunk 2077 was announced in May 2012. It was basically like, hey, we're going to be releasing Cyberpunk 2077 for, like, you know, release of the Xbox One and the PS4. And it didn't. And then there was nothing for it for 5 years, between 2013 and 2018. But that's not the reason why I'm not excited for it. Again, it's a single player game. I'm pretty good at avoiding sort of story spoilers, and it does seem one of those games that's huge, like The Witcher 3. Same people. So it's going to be huge, and it's going to be just such a long game to get through. And probably by the time anyone's even sort of 100%ed it, if they're not playing it constantly, you know, if you have like a job and stuff and other commitments, you're probably going to 100% it by the time it gets down to a price where, you know, it goes on sale or something. You know, it goes on like, yeah. So it's a huge game, and the amount of huge games that I've got, again, like I said, I've got lined up is just ridiculous, and I can't kind of keep going with that constantly. But yeah, it's just not striking me as kind of like a game that I'm kind of interested in. Like, my games that I'm interested in are sort of more remakes than actual brand new games. Like, I would like to see a lot of brand new games, but I do want to play a lot of older games as well. You know, like, that's what I'm more excited about with the new consoles. As I said in my last Presents video, I'm more kind of, you know, looking forward and looking at the backwards compatibility stuff rather than what the console can really do. You know, what's the controller like? Don't care. What can the console do? Don't care. Can it do backwards compatibility with every game in previous consoles? And then for December 23rd, the last sort of scheduled release is Who's Your Daddy for PC, Mac, and Xbox One. Oh, it's that one. It's a remake? It's a remake of... How can you remake a game that looked so shit in the first place? I'm sorry, Joe Williams, but your game looked really shit, and you're remaking it. It's not even coming out on PS4. That's how much I just don't care. I'm only gonna pick some of the notable games, or games that could be quite interesting, that are coming out this year, that have unscheduled releases. So I can't, you know, obviously give you a certain release date, but we can get you hyped for them. Cook Serve Delicious 3. So Cook Serve Delicious is sort of a restaurant simulator kind of thing. The first one was pretty good. I don't remember there being a second one, but apparently there was. I assume it might just be a PC kind of thing. But this one's coming out for PC, Switch, PS4 and Xbox One in the third or fourth quarter of the year. So expecting it kind of like autumn, winter time this year, sorry. But yeah, the third one, you know, there's going to be a lot more stuff. If you haven't seen Cook Serve Delicious, it's actually quite a good game. I never got around to playing it. As I keep saying, I've played way too many. We've got way too many games for me to play. But yeah, it's a very interesting kind of simulator kind of game. And we've got Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise for Nintendo Switch. Bit sad it's only Nintendo Switch. Because the first one looked like a proper horror game, like looking at like the case and everything. But it's actually just really camp and really ridiculous and everything like that. So seeing a second one come out 10 plus years maybe since the first one is quite interesting. And again, it being a Switch exclusive is kind of like when Bayonetta 2 came out exclusive for the Wii U kind of thing. So it's like a little kind of like cult classic game. There's another Dark Pictures anthology game, Little Hope, coming out, which is Man of Medan. I'm not sure if what was it called? Until Dawn is part of the Dark Pictures anthology, because I believe it's from the same people, but I'm not sure if that one's the same. Like it comes under that anthology kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. Death Stranding for the PC, second or third quarter. Considering the very lukewarm and almost kind of reception it got on consoles, why you'd be excited for Death Stranding on PC is very at the moment. A remake, I believe, of Destroy All Humans. Either that or it's a remastered version of Destroy All Humans for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I saw Destroy All Humans, but I think it sort of like with a couple of its later versions or later games, it lost what it was trying to do. And I believe it's a remake. It just says it's kind of like a remake remaster kind of thing. So do that what you will. Doom Eternal for the Switch apparently is coming out this year as well. That's quite interesting. It's got an unknown release date. Don't even know which quarter it's going to be in. But that's going to be quite interesting. Having a Doom game coming out the same year for the Switch as well as for the other consoles. That's kind of especially for the Switch. That's a bit and interesting. Apparently, there's a Dungeons and Dragons game coming out in the fourth quarter for PC and brackets consoles. Don't know what that means. There's a Dying Light 2 in the second quarter, unknown date. Dying Light 1 seemed pretty cool. I liked Dead Island, and kind of Dying Light took the kind of same thing. I played Dying Light 1 back in EGX or Eurogamer 2013. Eurogamer Expo 2013. And I played it there, and I was like, this actually seems like pretty good. And I never got around to playing. You'll hear that quite a lot. We have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition coming out for Switch, PS4, iOS, and Android. God, why? Ghost of Tsushima for the PS4 coming out in the second or third quarter. I believe that's another like samurai kind of game, kind of like the what's it called? The Soulsborne game, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, like that kind of thing. There's a lot of other games. Wait a minute. The first announced, or the first sort of, I guess, alphabetical order PS5 game that's been announced, Godfall, in the fourth quarter for PC and the PS5. That's an interesting. That's a very interesting one. Does it say anything about? It doesn't have a release date, but it does say PS5. That's interesting. That's a very interesting thing to sort of announce for the PS5 already. And there's the next one. Halo Infinite for the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. They've acronymed it to XSX. Acronym? Abbreviate. No, acronym. Yeah. for XSX. That's not going to be hard to say in any existence. But Halo Infinite, hey, more Halo. Uh, I don't. I stopped caring about Halo. Kerbal Space Program 2, which is a weird game. Like, yeah, we're gonna make Kerbal Space Program 2. What? Wasn't my kind of sort of game that was kind of interesting kind of thing. Just because it did seem kind of like you do one thing and that's it, and then you get better at that one thing, rather than sort of like any kind of like proper progression. But maybe the second one has better progression, or actually has progression. Who knows? Don't know yet. A Lego Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga, for the PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Is there a specific films, levels? Is it gonna say? Is there anything here? It says that it will adapt all entries in the Star Wars Skywalker Saga. So what, the most recent 3? The most, like, episode 4 to 9? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Like that kind of thing? Because that was Luke Skywalker. But then there's also Anakin Skywalker that was in the beginning. That was in episode 1, 2, and 3. So is it just... I don't know. You need to define... Like, that's the annoying thing about like Lego games. They're really good when they do multiple like films or shows or whatever into one game. Like normally like 3 is kind of like the optimum. 3 or 4 is the optimum one. Like Lego Harry Potter has years 1 to 4 and then 5 to 7. You got Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, which had 4 films at the time. Indiana Jones, I believe, only had 3. Yeah, only had 3, and then Lego Indiana Jones 2 had Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is the 4th one. Why? And then obviously there was Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which was like there was Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, and that kind of thing. So I get confused. There's a Little Nightmares 2, second one for that. Another Medal of Honor game, only for the PC. But that's apparently it's done by Respawn. Wait, what? I know, it redirected me to Respawn. Microsoft Flight Simulator, a new one for PC and Xbox One this year. No More Heroes 3, which is weird because No More Heroes never comes out on, I say quote unquote, a proper console. But the first one, No More Heroes 1 came out on the Wii. No More Heroes 2 was a weird side thing. There was another No More Heroes remake, but it was like a reboot of the first one. Now there's No More Heroes 3 for the Switch. There's also Oddworld Sandstorm, I assume, remake. Abe's Exodus. So the Abe's Odyssey was remade to Oddworld New and Tasty, because that was a thing in the game. So they renamed it. They named it that for the sort of remake. And then Abe's Exodus, which is the second Abe game, Oddworld Abe game, has Soulstorm in it, so it's Oddworld Soul. You get the idea. The Outer Worlds for Nintendo Switch. Wow. Really? The Outer Worlds for Switch in this first quarter. So, what, in the next 2 months? We're going to have Outer Worlds for the Switch. We don't have a specific date. Hopefully it doesn't change. We've got Planet Coaster console edition. So the console edition of Planet Coaster. I wasn't a big fan of Planet Coaster because it was so much more about the customization rather than building a park and rides. It was all like you had the base ride and then you had to put scenery on top of it, which I'm like, that's fine, but like that it's a definitely more improved kind of like, it's more like a spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 than it is to, say, Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2, which Parkitect is the sort of spiritual successor to 1 and 2. There's Pokemon Sleep, which is the weird one where they manage your sleeping thing. There's Psychonauts 2 for PC, Mac, Linux. Really? I think it's the only Linux game coming out this year. Oh no, wait, there's Super Meat Boy Forever later on that's for Linux. For PS4 and Xbox One as well. What else is there? Rust is coming out for consoles this year at some point. Skatebird, I saw that and I really wanted to play it at EGX, but there was always a big queue, and I was like, I kind of need to be I was always like, I need to go and watch or do something else, like, in like a couple of minutes, or like half an hour or something, so I can't wait. It says late 2020, but it's quite interesting. There's a remake of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. They're calling it Rehydrated. For Windows, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Got THQ Nordic behind it. THQ Nordic getting everything. A Streets of Rage 4 in the first or second quarter for Windows, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Surgeon Simulator 2 coming out at some point this year for some unknown platform. System Shock remake, I believe that is. Finally, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is the sort of zombies mode kind of thing, which has like a proper story and everything. Apparently that date is April 2020 to March 2021, even though it's essentially just DLC, and there was a thing for it like last year, 2 years ago, something like that. There's a Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch. And now we get to the two games I'm somewhat excited for, but kind of scared about. Hopefully that they're really good. Watch Dogs Legion. Because we've had so many of the things where it's create your own character, or use kind of like this voiceless character and kind of thing, and it's kind of terrible. So hopefully this one's good. I thought it already had a release date, but apparently not. But I'm like slightly looking forward to it, and I'm kind of all just like, eh. I hope it doesn't go too much in the direction of Watch Dogs 2, because Watch Dogs 2, in my opinion, is a terrible sequel to Watch Dogs 1. It completely just like it's a Ubisoft problem where they make the first one really serious, and then the second one is way too over the top, and you just don't like. It's got no story, kind of thing, or it's like not that great compared to the first one. And I know I'm saying that about Watch Dogs. I like Watch Dogs 1. So screw you if you hated Watch Dogs 1. No, don't screw you, but yeah, Watch Dogs 2 just was like, oh yeah, we're gonna hack the planet. And it's like, okay, and they're getting all around like the FBI stuff, and they're like, what, fucking mid-20s hipsters, and they're like, oh yeah, look, we can do all this. It's like, no, that's not realistic. That's not like what Watch Dogs 1 was. And it's the same thing with the Crew. The Crew 1 is bad, but then the Crew 2 is just like, oh yeah, you can just transform into a plane, transform into a car, transform into a boat, why not? And then the other game that I'm excited for, but I need to play the first one, is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Yes, I really want to play the first one. When they announced there was a second one, I was like, man, I need to play the first one. But I don't know where you can get the first one apart from PC. And I'm like, it's annoying, because I really, really, really want to play it on console, but it's not on console. Apparently Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 was in 2004. But it's developed by Hardsuit Labs, which are the people who worked on Killing Floor 2 as well. I checked. I'm now confused. Is it Tripwire that publishes and Hardsuit that makes it, or is it the other way around? For like Killing Floor 2. Anyway, to end off this 2020 in gaming, or gaming in 2020, we have one specific game. I actually saw an advert for this on the bus, like, as I was walking home today. Bus entirely covered in this advertisement for what film release based on a video game this year? That's right, Sonic the motherfucking Hedgehog. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog this year, February 14th, 2020. Holy shit, is that going to be a train wreck? Also, I want to point out all these dates, any of the really specific dates, if they're not the same as your, like, a release date where you live, and you're gonna go in the comments and go, oh, there's the wrong release date. I'm reading it from Wikipedia, and normally Wikipedia has the American release dates of the games if they're not released on the same day everywhere. So it's normally the American release date. So, with Sonic the Hedgehog coming to greet us in less than a month's time, and Jim Carrey being Eggman, oh god, I don't want to look at it. Thank you guys for watching this episode of StealthyWolf Presents. I hope you join me next time, or join me for any of the streams doing this week, obviously, of the recording of this video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.